Monterey Park. The death toll has risen to 11 in Monterey Park shooting, which apparently there multiple shootings have happened since then, some of which in California, some of which also conducted by another 62-year-old Asian dude this time. It's insane. I don't know what the fuck's going on. 67-year-old? I don't know. Yes, there have been 38 mass shootings in the United States in the first 21 days of the year, according to Gun Violence Archive, which describes a mass shooting as 4 or more people shot or killed, not including the shooter. This is just very odd.
Southern California reels from Saturday's ballroom shooting in Monterey Park after one hospitalized victim died on Monday. So the toll this morning is 11 dead, including 65-year-old Mei Mei Nan and 70-year-old Diana Tom. Let's get the latest now on the investigation from Juju Cheng there in Monterey Park. Good morning, Juju.
Good morning to you, Robin. You know, Monterey Park is indeed still reeling, as you felt when you were here with me just yesterday. Authorities here are still searching for a motive and looking into the dead suspect's relationships and his past, including 2 recent visits to a nearby police station where he made all sorts of bizarre allegations against his family.
Stop! Oh, are you fucking kidding me again? No. That's insane. Every time, bro. Every time. These guys literally just openly state like they're crazy, unhinged. They're going to do shit. And they tell the authorities, or the authorities are aware of it, only to just what? Turn around and be like, "Hey, we were aware of it. We were aware of this guy." What more can you do, bro? There's no way he fucking turned himself in, and they were like, "Oh man, oops, how could we have stopped this guy?"
This morning, harrowing new details as authorities try to piece together what led to the senseless killing of 11 people at a dance studio in Monterey Park, California. Investigators combing through evidence and scouring the home of the suspected gunman, identified by authorities as 72-year-old Hu Can Tran.
What the fuck? There's no shot. Someone on Wall Street Journal Opinion, in the immediate aftermath of the Monterey Park murder mass shooting, wrote, "Are there too many Asians?" No, there's no way. It's changed now. China and the population bomb that wasn't. The author is the former White House director of speech writing. Jesus Christ, dude. William McGurn, born December 4th, 1958, is an American writer. He is the chief speechwriter for President George W. Bush from June 2006 until February 2008. Nice. Just normal stuff. All right, let's continue.
We recovered one .308 caliber rifle, numerous electronic devices such as cell phones, computers, etc. Items that lead us to believe the suspect was manufacturing homemade firearm suppressors.
Authorities adding that the firearm seen here on surveillance.
Yeah, I watched this video. This video is all over TikTok now, and you can see this motherfucker. Classic Hassan dox someone you don't like. Please, you're joking, right? You did not just say I doxed the fucking guy. What? No, I'm done. I can't do this. No way. This guy's being serious, right? Please tell me this is bait. Please. Yeah, it was a joke. Oh, thank God. Holy fuck. I'm on edge. Right now. Jesus Christ.
Wrestled away from the suspect at a second dance hall was a 9mm semi-automatic assault weapon. Another handgun also found in his van. ABC News also learning a number of motives now being considered, including a potential domestic violence scenario. But investigators stress it's still too early in the probe to determine a more precise motive.
We do not have a motive yet. There's a lot of stories coming forward. We're not ignoring any of them.
Authorities say about 20 minutes after the shooting at Star Dance Studio, the suspect entered a second dance hall in neighboring Alhambra, where he encountered Brandon Say, who heroically wrestled the gun away. Say opening up about that brutal altercation exclusively to Robin Roberts.
When I got the courage, I lunged at him with both my hands, grabbed the weapon, and we had a struggle. We struggled into the lobby, trying to get this gun.
I don't know why they don't show the video. I don't know why they show only still imagery of this. The video is available on TikTok. I've seen it. And it's actually fucking dope. Like, he just literally takes it. He takes it out of his hands and he points it at him. Points it at him and says, "I'll shoot you." Like, you could tell he's like, he keeps pointing at him and going like, "I'll shoot you, I'll shoot you." And it basically gets him to run away. A video that makes cops look bad. Yes, 100%. Here, let's watch the surveillance footage. Look. Now, one thing that I immediately noticed is that it has like a homemade silencer, suppressor, whatever you want to call it. Like, it looks like he has like, I don't know if he bought that or if he made it himself. I think they were saying that he made it like homemade. What the fuck is that long ass barrel? No, that's not a barrel. That's just a modification on the weapon. He grabs it. The 72-year-old man goes for it again. Wait, there's another angle? I didn't know that there was another angle.
And we begin with new surveillance video just in and a confrontation with a...
Hold on, we'll look at that in a second. He's just like trying to go after it. Meanwhile, this dude has the gun and is literally just going like, here, right here. He's like, "I'll shoot you. Like, I'll shoot you. Stop fucking fighting. I'll shoot you." That is a Mac 11 or a Mac M11. It's not. It looks like a Uzi. That's what that is. It has an extended. It has an extended magazine. Yes, he has absolutely infinitely more restraint than a police officer. 100%. Does not look like an Uzi. It looks like a Mac 11. It's not a Mac 11. It's a semi-auto off-brand version. Oh my God. Shut the fuck up, idiot. Nobody cares that you know so much about guns and you shove it up your ass to only feel something for once in your goddamn life. I'm talking to a broader audience of people who are not mentally ill about guns, okay? To the average person, it looks like a fucking Uzi, okay? Gun reply guys are the fucking worst people on the planet. Yeah, he... Gunweeb should have liked trains or Pokemon like the rest of us on the spectrum. Yeah, I know. Seriously. Like, just find a new, healthier fucking hyperfixation. Trains are awesome.
The killer captured just moments after Hu Can Tran entered the Lai Lai Ballroom in Alhambra. You can see Tran walk into a small room just off the lobby. He's carrying an assault pistol with an extended magazine, and the gun has a large silencer on it as well. Moments later, Tran is confronted by Brandon Sai. The two exchange a few words, and then Sai charges at Tran. The two men fight violently in the lobby until Sai...
That's crazy. I wonder if it jammed or something.
Assault weapon, and Tran runs out the door. Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more.
I mean, that's awesome though. That's awesome that he fucking lunged at him regardless. Yeah, he could have fucking died right in that moment. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on. By his accounts, he heard like a metal clacking.
Away from each other.
The fog
And
of
he
tragedy
he
now
lunged at him.
illuminating stories of survival.
I see on the table, under the table, because the guy was shooting.
As soon as the gunfire erupted, Chunli says she grabbed her dance partner, who was shot, and held him as they hid under a table, watching as the shooter reloaded the weapon.
What did the gun look like? Was it
Long.
Long gun.
Long gun.
Yeah.
The way he do, and then I tell my partner, don't say anything. Just lay down.
Hyung Bang, who was wounded in the leg, now grappling with the trauma.
I feel so scary. I swear all my life I never go to dancing studio. No more.
We lift up those who are
Overnight, grieving in Monterey Park as the community honors the memory of those lost, including Shou Juan Yu, Valentino Alvaro, and 63-year-old Li Lan Li. Diana Tom was 70, remembered by her family as a hard-working mother, wife, and grandmother who loved to dance. Relatives say 65-year-old Mei Mei Nan was sassy and stylish. She loved ballroom dancing and cared deeply about her family. She was shot while driving out of the parking lot with her dance partner.
She practically raised me. Yeah, she practically raised me, and she's like a second mother to me, so it's definitely hard.
I've spoken to many heartbroken family members who, even in their grief, they say now more than ever, they don't want this community to lose the joy sparked by coming together with friends and doing something as lovely as ballroom dancing. Robin?
Well, Juju, thank you for staying on the scene there for us and sharing and letting us know who these victims were and who the survivors are. Thank you. Well, hey.
But unfortunately, it doesn't end there. There's another mass shooting that occurred in Half Moon Bay, California. 7 people have died.
To those reeling from the Monterey Park attack, word came of yet another mass shooting, also in California, this time in the city of Half Moon Bay. 67-year-old Zhao Chunli was arrested after allegedly killing 7 people at 2 separate farms in the area. Carter Evans went to Half Moon Bay yesterday, right after the shooting. Carter, good morning to you.
Good morning, Gail. And this is where deputies took the suspect into custody. And you know where we are? We're at the local sheriff station. So the sheriff says after shooting in 2 different locations, the suspect drove here, parked his car in the parking lot, and waited.
What's up? Like, he just wanted to give the cops a dub or something? Like, what's going on?
Hands up, hands up, hands up. With guns in hand, deputies close in on the 67-year-old shooting suspect.
Damn, man, cops are fucking, they're killing it, dude. They did it. Only time cops can apprehend a suspect. Yeah, the other guy, he got stopped by a good guy with no gun. And then the cops found him, and then he killed himself in his car. This guy goes to two different areas, shoots him up, and then drives over to the fucking sheriff's station.
Seconds later, they've got him on the ground, surrounded, hands cuffed.
Like, you know this shit is not that dangerous, I guess, when you have a cameraman that's right there. What the fuck is happening there?
They had their guns drawn, took several and then he got out of the car, and eventually he was taken down to the ground by them.
The arrest comes just hours after investigators say he gunned down 8 people, killing 7.
It was in the afternoon when kids were out of school, and for children to witness this is unspeakable.
It happened in the coastal community of Half Moon Bay. The gunman allegedly went to a mushroom farm and opened fire. There, officers say he shot 5 people, killing 4 of them. He then drove less than 10 minutes away to another farm where the sheriff says he shot and killed 3 more people.
We are working at trying to gather more information to figure out what the connection was to these victims.
The shooter is believed to be an employee at one of the farms, and for now, authorities say he's cooperating.
We know that he acted alone at this time.
But investigators still aren't saying why they believe he did it. Half Moon Bay was already reeling. This agricultural town along the California coast is still recovering from severe flooding and landslides. And now, a mass shooting.
The amount of stress that's been on this community for weeks is really quite high.
Now, in light of the shooting in Southern California, it's worth noting that the alleged shooter in this situation is also an elderly Asian male. And all of his victims, at least most of them, are believed to be Asian farm workers. Now, perhaps this is just an unfortunate coincidence. You know, investigators are going to be looking into that to see if there's any connection. California's governor called this a tragedy upon a tragedy.
That is true.
No, I mean, it's the reason why they're bringing that up is because it's like unique. Wait, where the fuck is my... What happened to the playlist? I lost it. It's unique in the sense that, like, the perpetrator is unique. It's not, it doesn't fit the profile, and that's the reason why they're mentioning it. And I don't even fucking know what is going on, if we're being real. There was another shooting that happened in Yakima, Washington, at a convenience store. There is no additional details on the Half Moon Bay thing at the moment. I mean, here's an update from the cops.
Officials are giving an update now on the mass shooting in Half Moon Bay, California that left 7 people dead. Let's listen in.
The victim at the hospital is out of surgery and stable. Victims were adults and a mixture of Hispanic and Asian descent. 7 males and 1 female. Only known connection between the victims and the suspect is that they may have been co-workers. The coroner's office is still working on identification of the victims and notifications of next of kin. As some of these victims were members of our migrant community, this represents a unique challenge when it comes to notifications and identifications of next of kin. All of the evidence we have points to this being the instance of workplace violence. The Mountain Mushroom Farm, the first location, is where the subject was employed. I'd like to hand it off to now our District Attorney, Steve Wagstaff.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good morning. I'm Steve Wagstaff.
I mean, that one makes more sense. It was already out of control, but, like, it's absurd. Why doesn't America do anything at this point? I don't get it. Yeah, well, I mean, it's America. It's a fundamental right. That one, it's such a fucking weird way to do commentary on an issue like this, but, like, that makes more sense. Like, a workplace violence, workplace violence as a thing is, like, super commonplace in America. Obviously, people have a fuckload of guns, and therefore, the first place that they go back to when they're having a violent outburst, like one in Walmart happened recently as well over the holiday season, if you remember. I mean, there was a term for it called going postal, right? Oftentimes younger people go to their schools and shoot up their schools. Older people go to their place of work and shoot up their place of work. No, it's not workplace bullying. No. I mean, it can be in some instances, but ultimately the common thread in all of these is, if you want to look at it from like a broader perspective, the common thread in all of this is basically feeling anxiety and anger and frustration and snapping, basically, okay, for one reason or the other, and obviously access to weapons, ease of access to an arsenal, and turning around and unloading on not necessarily the systems or someone in a position of power, but instead whoever the fuck you can. Because the workplace is oftentimes like the manifestation of the anxieties that you feel. the anger that you feel, the frustration that you feel. So you unleash the violence onto your immediate vicinity. It's just like the most American thing. The whole thing about school shooters doing it because they were bullied is a myth too. Yeah, no, usually school shooters are doing it because, not necessarily because they were bullied, but because a school is a place of like authority. When you're younger, the school is a place of authority for you. So you just go back and like unleash that that absolute violence back at like this place of authority that you feel controls your life. Same with the workplace. It's the primary place of authority versus the workplace for adults is the primary. The workplace being the primary place of authority and discipline, and in the same way, having someone release their frustrations paired up with like the regular anxiety that everybody feels, and they snap and they release that in what they have perceived as like the immediate vector of power. That's what controls their lives. Their workplace controls their lives. Their work controls their lives. So that's why they unload on it. Now, obviously, there is no one identifiable factor in this. This is my personal speculation, I will admit. Except for being men. No, I mean, ease of access to guns. Like, there are obviously, like, clear markers. Ease of access to weaponry. Being able to, like, fucking take a gun and use it, okay? Buy it easily and use it. That's, like, a huge thorough line, obviously. But as far as like, mass shootings and how they occur, oftentimes it is the victims are... oftentimes victims are whoever it is or whatever it is, what that shooter perceives as like having like some kind of control over their lives. That's not true, obviously. There's no truth to that kind of like insane assumption that you're making, but well, I guess there is truth to it, but the victims have nothing to do with it. But they're not thinking clearly. They are just trying to unload their anger and frustration after they snap without thinking and just thinking, just looking at like what controls their lives, and that's why they go after. That's why they go after like people who are ultimately powerless because they have no. They're in the same boat as the shooter himself. They're going to the fucking workplace in the same way. You know what I mean? And yes, there have been instances where like mass shootings happen in like random areas or whatever. But ultimately, like for example, the guy who was going into like every massage shop and shooting people that work there, right? That guy had an anti-women slant. He thought feminism and women are responsible for his trials and tribulations that he's experiencing in society, and he wanted to let out his frustration upon, women. That was like his primary target, if you remember. The one, yeah, famously, the one that the cop said he was having a bad day. The El Paso shooter went to Walmart. The Buffalo shooter went to a convenience store in a black neighborhood. The El Paso shooter went to El Paso Walmart specifically with the desire of killing brown people, okay, Mexican people, because he and the other fucking Buffalo shooter as well thought that, you know, immigrants were ruining America. Like they had they were controlling the country. Like the most marginalized people in society were the ones who were like actually causing his awful existence, I guess, like his feelings of awfulness. Yeah, white replacement theory, exactly. The Charleston shooter went to a black church, exactly.
I'm the district attorney, and the case, my job now is to inform you where the case will go. The Sheriff's Office is submitting the case to us today. We will review it. The arraignment will not be this afternoon, as was first put out. It will be tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 here in this building, courtroom 4A, the custody courtroom. The charges have not yet been determined because until we review all of the information, we will make that decision later today or tomorrow morning. And again, the charges obviously involve the homicides involved, as the sheriff just said. I want to make a specific reference to the fact that I have been briefed on the sheriff's office investigation of this case. And cases like this, we've never had one in this county of this many deaths at one scene or one time. And so it was a very hectic scene. The sheriff's office did a magnificent job in investigating this case. I'm very proud to have the sheriff's office as our colleagues and Sheriff Corpus as my colleague. The work was done extraordinarily well. But again, in terms of precise detail, we're not going to be giving out a lot of precise detail on what was said. This is a case that is at the beginning stage. It has a long road to travel over the coming months and years. And to that extent, we don't want to try it out in the public eye, but instead, we will ultimately handle this case in one of the courtrooms in that building. So now I'll turn it back for any questions that may exist for us.
Good morning. My name is Eamon Allen. I'm the sheriff's PIO, and I'll take any questions now. It was a legally purchased firearm and owned. We're not releasing that information at this time.
What kind of gun?
It was a semi-automatic handgun. As far as make and model, we're not releasing that.
Can you describe the
So he did not actively surrender to us. He was located in his vehicle in the parking lot of the Half Moon Bay substation. One of our deputies located the vehicle there and recognized it from the information we had from the scene. At that point, he started giving the subject commands. The subject was still seated in the vehicle. The subject exited the vehicle and was taken into custody without an incident.
Did you identify him prior to responding to him?
We did. We had the suspect information as well as suspect vehicle information.
So it's understanding that he's been cooperating with the investigation and giving the information. Can you tell us anything about a motive for this accident?
All the evidence we have right now points to a workplace violence incident.
Thank you, Alexis Simone.
Yes.
For the 10 give the subs.
We're not releasing that information this time.
What else can you tell us about victims? Anything else?
Yeah, this seems like a... Look, again, this is all speculation at this point, but an educated guess in this circumstance looks like a workplace violence situation, which is unfortunately all too common. And the other one... Workplace violence ? Yeah, it means when you go like, again, I told you already, there is a term for it called going postal, okay? I just described it for like the past 35 to 45 minutes about how like this shit works. And then the other one seems like a divorce court incel, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not. There isn't enough information on it.
So we're still working with the coroner's office on notifications of the victims' families, so we're not releasing specific identifying information of the victims. But like the sheriff said, they were all adults, 7 males, 1 female, and a mixture of Asian and Hispanic victims.
Can you tell how many Latinos and how many Asians?
I'm sorry, I don't have that specific information at this time.
Were all of the victims specifically targeted, or was it seem like a random?
Again, we're not releasing that information at this time.
The female among the dead, or
I'm sorry, I don't have that information.
Can you tell us if, you know, a little bit about his background? Anything that would have
Bubblegum Bunny Girl, thank you for the 99 gifted subs. Holy shit.
given you any kind of information that he would actually do this with? Does he have any prior convictions or has been charged with anything in the past?
So as far as his criminal history, we're not releasing that information. I will say that there were no specific indicators that would have led us to believe that he was capable of something like this, and he was not known to us or to have any sort of, again, indicators that may have led us to believe that this was something he might have done.
He's Chinese national. How long has he been in the United States?
We're not releasing any information as related to his status like that.
Can you tell us how long he worked at the mushroom farm?
I don't have the specifics for that.
I'm sorry this question's already been asked, but did the suspect say why he drove to the sheriff's substation, why he apparently turned himself in?
We're not releasing that information at this time. I'm sorry? We don't have any information that they were witnesses to the incident. We know these farms, there's a mixture of folks who work there as well as reside there. And we do know that there were some children in the vicinity, but as far as being specific witnesses to it, we don't have that information.
King Ghidorah, thank you for the 5-tier.
I'm sorry, I don't have that information.
The mayor of Half Bay said in an interview this morning that a lot of these farm workers experience a lot of distress, anxiety, work conditions, living in them. Do you know what role of many that might have played?
I mean, this happened recently, so I mean, it's entirely too soon. So I do understand why they wouldn't have enough information on like motive and whatnot. But I mean, they gave a lot of information, especially the fact that it was most likely a workplace violence incident. So. Yeah.
Morning,
Another shooting happened last night in Yakima, Washington.
Matt Murray, the chief of the Yakima Police Department. At approximately 3:30 this morning, we received a call of a male who was shooting parties at the location of 18th and Nob Hill, 18th Street. When officers arrived, they located 3 deceased parties at the Circle K store and quickly realized that there was a second shooting scene across the street at the AM/PM. I want to remind everybody this is really new. It's dynamic. Things are changing. We're getting new information constantly, so I can give you the best information we have at this time. It appears to be a random situation. There was no apparent conflict between the parties. The male just walked in and started shooting. We do have video from the security at the store, and we're collecting other video. There was also eyewitnesses who've given us information. We do believe that there's possibly a fourth victim. We don't know their condition. The man, after he left the Circle K, went across the street and shot into a vehicle. You can see the party in that vehicle move to the passenger seat, and then the suspect stole his car. The suspect fled eastbound on Nob Hill, out Highway 24, and so we don't have his location at this time. The suspect vehicle is a gray or silver sedan Chrysler. They believe a Chrysler 200, and we don't know the license plate. We don't know who the victim is at this time. We don't know who the suspect is. We do have some good photos of the suspect that we will be releasing shortly. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Did the shooting take place inside the Circle K?
Both. The first shooting was inside the store. Then he came outside the store and shot a victim outside the store, and then went across the street and apparently shot one more person.
And you said 3 confirmed?
We have 3 confirmed deceased parties. There's a possible fourth, but we don't know.
What is that status of fourth? Like he took off?
So he shot inside of the vehicle. We can see a person in there. Then he took that vehicle. So it's possible the victim's not hit, possible that they're shot and alive, it's possible they're deceased. We just don't know.
And then you said took out.
Last information we had was that the suspect fled eastbound on Highway 24 towards Moxie.
What protocol has to be taken with that?
I'm sorry?
What kind of protocol is taken with that?
Everything we can to find them.
Any other information?
That's what we have at this time. We will be providing updates. I'd ask you to watch our social media, and as soon as we can put out more information, we will. I would say that, excuse me, this is a dangerous person, and it's random, so there is a danger to the.
This is the person, for the record. There's currently a search underway for the suspect after 3 people were shot and killed at the Yakima convenience store, and a fourth person is unknown. Their status is unknown at the moment. I don't know if there's additional details that they released.
The community, we don't have a motive. We don't know why. And so we will do everything we can to locate and apprehend that person and keep the public informed.
I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, it's like, cops have surrounded the home in Yakima, Washington, in connection to overnight shooting that left 3 people dead. As of 3 hours ago, they presumed homicide suspect Jared Haddock is a 21-year-old Yakima County resident, according to a Facebook post. Road closures in the area Tuesday morning are related to one of the early morning homicides. SWAT was responding, and authorities have drones over the area. Tabitha Johnson, an employee of the nearby business, told CNN that the area was locked down, and the police have surrounded a home near the intersection of University Parkway and West Birchfield Road. He then Murray told CNN Tuesday that the suspect had pulled into the Arco AM/PM gas station, tried to get into the lobby, but found the doors were locked. He then walked across the street to the Circle K, and as he's walking to the store, he pulls out his gun, and there are 2 people getting food, and he shoots them. Both people died. The suspect then walked out of the store and shot another person who also died. Murray said the suspect went back across the street to the Arco AM/PM gas station and shot into a car and then drove off. Police have not said who the car belongs to, but believe it could be the suspects. His location are unknown at this time. They just think it's random. And it could be. It could be entirely random.